because, as we all know, we're in an epidemic of mental illness now.
Yes.
Getting ever more. And rather surprisingly, and in a way rather ironically, science, which has been so determined to prove that the spiritual is an old man in the skies and just total rubbish, which it finally has done, now at the very centre of the new healing, i.e. psychedelic-assisted therapy, is the mystical experience. And what we showed is the people who underwent what's kind of categorized as a mystical experience, i.e. a loosening of the ego, a feeling of unity, those are the ones who have the best outcomes of overcoming their depression. So it's rather a beautiful little ironical twist.
Yes.
That now suddenly the psychedelics are at the centre of this new approach to healing. And I think the healing of psychedelics goes much, much farther than what we've touched on so far, which is the psychologically based conditions. I think it can be very, very useful in different doses, because what is so wonderful about psychedelics is to have totally different effects in the different dose.
Right.
And at the mini micro dose, I'm beginning to have evidence, and I'm just starting a study, which shows amazing potential results of microdose for Alzheimer's.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely
Interesting.
Amazing, remarkable.
Really?
Yeah. And
I was watching a video yesterday on cannabis and Parkinson's. It was incredible.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman who had horrible loss of control of his body and the shaking, and they gave him cannabis oil.
Yeah.
And he put it under his tongue, and a few minutes later, he's lying back on the couch, and then he holds his hands out, and his hands are dead straight. I'm like, this is extraordinary.
And my partner before, who is the father of my children, he got Parkinson's. Sounds very well. I'm very fond of him. Mild Parkinson's, but still it was Parkinson's. And so I'd heard how, and I studied it, how microdosing ibogaine is very good for minimizing. So I'm setting up a research into that.
Interesting.
You know, I think, and I think also...
Yeah, this is the gentleman right here. This is exactly the video that I saw. So this guy has terrible loss of control of his body. He can barely hold the cannabis oil in his mouth.
Poor man.
Yeah. I mean, he's struggling so bad. But now, it says 1:37 p.m. This is when he takes it. And then you see just a few minutes later, they show him lie back. And this is at, go ahead, Jamie. That's 1:41. Look at this. I mean, not even 10 minutes.
That is magic.
And look at this. And he's fine. He sits up. And he's just blown away by it. He's like, it's so quickly. And look at his hands. Incredible.
No, that is wonderful.
I have a friend who has a child that has pretty severe autism. And when he gives the kid cannabis, when he gives him edible cannabis, it just stops it.
Yes.
It just stops it. The kid can
absolutely
make eye contact, communicate.
Absolutely. Well, I could show you. The trouble is I can show you privately, but not the person involved doesn't want it to go out, of a wonderful old lady of 97 who had Alzheimer's for 7 years or something, but she was very bright. She was a poet and a poetry and was looked after by her son. And then he went away for a week and someone else came and looked after. And when he came back, she was in a kind of acute vegetative apathy where she didn't recognize him. Just staring into space. And they discussed it before, and she'd said, she knew he sometimes took a psychedelic, and so he gave her a microdose of LSD. And an hour later, I've got the photograph, she's a little sparkling old lady with her full contact with him, saying, I feel so wonderful, let's read some poetry now.
Wow.
You know, just like that man.
Yeah.
And then he contacted me and said, what should he do? So I said, well, first thing would be to get a doctor to help you manage it, and then continue with the lower doses gets that effect, which was 10 micro, which is 10 millionth of a gram. I mean, it's such a small dose, you would hardly think it could have an effect. And that does something which I'm doing research on now. I think it's to do with the connectivity between the different brain centers. I think it sparks. And it brought her back. And her children said it was just remarkable.
It's incredible.